Hello to you all. Welcome to this full moon. And it's the full moon of Sagittarius. And before I start speaking about it, just a reminder that so we have again the full moon offer. So for those of you who are in need of some kind of guidance or expect that this kind of astrological guidance can help you, please just participate in that. If you don't have the means or for some reason are not able to invest in that at the moment, then this offer is for you. So just participate, and I'll be very glad to hear from you. Then we continue and we go on with this full moon. So the full moon that happens here in Portugal, in Lisbon, on the 4th of June at 20 minutes to 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. I'm sorry, local time. So for to be even more exact, 19 minutes to 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. So 4:41. And this happens with the sun in Gemini. So this moon cycle actually started with the sun still in Taurus and the end of Taurus. And now it's already in Gemini. So we have the sun in Gemini and the moon in Sagittarius. And so this is the axis of the apprentice and the master. The apprentice being Gemini and the master being Sagittarius. So the apprentice means that it has this childish curiosity, this childish behavior and interest in knowing about everything and in exploring every single subject. So this multiplicity of interests. And it is this curious mind. So the never-ending curiosity for learning, for knowing new things, for acquiring new knowledge, and to communicate and to share about it, and to learn about different perspectives of other people, and to interact with other people, to communicate. So this is where the sun is, and then we have the moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, of course, is, well, it's known as the master because it's the adventurer and the one that seeks to go further, to explore further, to deepen the knowledge. So it goes beyond just the surface of knowing things. It wants to explore deeper and to relate subjects even. So it's the expansion of the mind, of the soul, of the spirit, and even the sensations. It's the need to explore and to feel, especially with the moon in Sagittarius, is the need to feel more things and to feel it in a more intense way. So this moon in Sagittarius, of course, highlights the need to feel the passion, the enthusiasm, to feel it in the bones and to feel it in the skin, to be far beyond the norm or the usual. So it's about relating to different people, to different cultures, to different religions, to go and deepen ourselves into something that is going to open our minds, and to get to know, and even to expand the understanding of life and the meaning of life, or the understanding of ourselves in this lifetime in a different way. So in some sense, it can also indicate, this moon in Sagittarius, of course, will highlight as well the shadow side of Sagittarius, which is the endless need for this search. So it brings a lot of this frustration whenever I'm not able to go beyond or to go further, and to give myself what I'm seeking for. And well, with Sagittarius, there are no boundaries, there are no limitations. So any limitation is to be taken over. So this is the thing that may be the downside of this aspect of this moon in Sagittarius, is the need to conquer more and more, and to go further and further, or deeper, and also to go in a certain direction that I set my eyes on, and to be very strict and rigid about it, rejecting or becoming frustrated or angry towards anything that deviates me from that intention or from that destination. So it's this rigidity around it. So that's why this axis usually also brings the need to balance the focus and the intention and this knowing the direction that I want to take, but also bring a lot of flexibility and adaptation, and the willingness to be just surprised, to take a different route that was planned in the first place, and to allow myself to be surprised and to just be playful around it, to just seek knowledge or this experience in a much lighter perspective, without so much intensity or expectation around it. So this is an axis that reminds a lot of this, the need to be an endless apprentice in life, the apprentice of yourself, of your being, and also of the world that we live in and the people that we relate to. So this is the need to just be curious about everything around us, still keeping the focus and the intention, and being guided by this enthusiasm and by this passion, but allow some flexibility around it. So, and also regarding this master, it's really about just sharing what we are exploring, what we are constantly learning. So sharing our experience and sharing the learning without preaching it as a truth, as the only truth. So this is the intention here with this axis, is to balance between Sagittarius and Gemini. But then if we look at the chart of it, so we have the Sun being in Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is in the sign of Taurus and is conjunct Uranus, and then the Moon in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, which is also in Taurus, in the sign of Taurus, and conjunct the North Lunar Node. So this is quite interesting because this lunation actually started in the sign of Taurus, and with a huge presence of many planets, or of many elements in the sign of Taurus, and it still has this groundness. Besides being in this axis of Gemini and Sagittarius, it still has this need for a lot of the embodiment of all the experiences that, and requires that we live that in a very grounded way, in a very or coming from this experience of being embodied. So it's based on that experience, the experience of being on Earth, the experience of having a body, of having the sensations, of the body being this object of so much wisdom in ourselves. So is this connection of the mind and the body that we usually just separate, and now we have to put them together so that we can understand this. We can understand our experience in this lifetime, and we can understand ourselves a little better, and everyone around us a little better. So going to Mercury here. So Mercury is in Taurus and conjunct Uranus. So Mercury rules, of course, Gemini and also Virgo. So it's the messenger of the gods. So this is responsible for our communication, to the use of language, but also associated with Virgo to the ability to process and to segment, or to rationally approach the knowledge that we are acquiring, and to organize that information. So this is in Taurus. It of course, and I think I spoke about that previously also when it was retrograding. Mercury in Taurus, of course, it has that slow pace. So, and the use of language and the way that our mind processes information or acquires information in Taurus is by experiencing things. So we have this need to be embodied, to be able to learn. But then conjunct Uranus, it brings this to a new level, because it requires some kind of disruption of the way that we have been doing things, the way that we have been exploring, or that we have been learning. Here it requires a different approach to things. So maybe we have to undergo some new experience, or some different approach, or coming together with people that we, in the first place, we wouldn't choose to, or this need to just go a little further than our comfort zones, and putting ourselves up for a totally different experience that maybe we thought that we would never do, so that we can really expand this. So this is basically some kind of revolution in the way that we are also using our voice. For example, the voice is part of this axis of Gemini and Gemini Sagittarius, and the voice is part of the body. So maybe you have to also explore this way of communication, or different ways of communicating ourselves. Yeah, so this is something that can go for different ways, but basically our minds can be very active at this point, and wanting to see things happening and moving and changing very, very fast, and of course in a more sustainable way, because we are speaking about Mercury and Uranus in Taurus. So the need to use the resources, the need to use this embodiment has to be in a sustainable way. So the goal is to become sustainable, to so that things can last. Things meaning conversations or relationships or partnerships or whatever, learning. So learning, for the learning to be sustainable, I have to put it in practice, maybe in a different way. So whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm learning, if I want it to be sustainable, maybe I need to do some kind of changes so that it becomes sustainable for me. And then we have Jupiter conjunct the North Lunar Node, and the North Lunar Node is, well, the one that speaks about this, the evolution of the soul. In this case, the collective soul. So as a collective, the planet, and the human species. So Jupiter expanding this point in the chart, of course, it brings this expansion of that topic. So whatever that means in your specific chart, this is the point that is being expanded at the moment. And the North Lunar Node in Taurus, of course, is speaking about the way that, again, that we relate to our planet, to our bodies, the way that we respect the cycles of nature, the way that we value, that we are thankful for that, for everything that we can acquire, for everything that we can grow, for anything that we can maintain in our lives that sustains us. And the way that we value that and are grateful for that is a big part of it. So this is the moment that we have to appreciate more whatever we have as a body, as a voice, as any kind of resource that we have, knowing that we can that we are this in endless abundance, but still not fall into this trap of wanting and desiring more and more, and rather just being really appreciative of what we have at the moment, of all the comfort that we have at the moment. But then we have a little trick here, because so this Jupiter, of course, it was already the topic for the new moon in Taurus, because Jupiter was in a T-square with Pluto in Aquarius and with Mars in Leo. So now, instead of Mars continued its journey through Leo, but now it's approaching to a T-square with Pluto and Venus. Venus is still in the last degrees of Cancer, but it's going to it's going to move into Leo the next day, so on the 5th of June. So this is already again the same topic, but with a different vibe, which means that this Venus speaks about, again, the topics of Taurus. So it's about relationships, and it's about the way that we relate to resources, the way that we value them, and the way that we are able to grow them, to sustain them, or to commit ourselves to grow them, to grow something. And of course, speaking about relationships, it's about all the relationships that are sustainable in our lives, the relationships that, and changing into Leo, it's going to be about the relationships that allow me to be myself, my true self, my authentic self, and that value my ability to be exactly who I am, and the way that I also respect and provide the space for others to be themselves as well, and to shine, to fully shine. So, but at the same time, we have Pluto in Aquarius, so it has also to be the kind of relationships that respect our limits, that respect our boundaries, and that help me clear and liberate my fears or traumas or resentments. So everything here can be amplified, of course, at the moment. The way that I relate to resources, the way that I relate to people in my life, be it friends, family, or, of course, intimate partnerships. It's going to be amplified so that I can see which are the relationships, or which are the ways that I've been managing my resources that have been, for some reason, based on patterns from the past, and that are no longer serving my evolution, and of course my growth and my authentic self. And so bringing this idea of respecting my own boundaries, my own limits, and taking care of myself. And first of all, because we are in this lunation of the moon in Sagittarius, of the ones that allow me to explore life, the ones that allow me to explore different ways of being, and that allow me to expand more each time I relate to people, the ones that help me grow. So this is going to be a signature for this month of June. But then we also have this Venus, because it's still in the last degrees of Cancer, in a very positive trine with Neptune in Pisces. So this is all about love. This is about caring for each other. This is about inspiring each other and inspiring ourselves to go after our dreams and to be hopeful, but at the same time bringing this reminder of Cancer, that is, before I take care of others, I need to take care of myself. So I need to be I need to have my full cup so that I can give to others after that, and help each other grow and inspire each other by just overflowing this love and this caring and this kindness. And this is the thing that for me is most interesting here, because this lunation brings this need for playfulness, for lightness, and for joy, together with this gratefulness for being embodied, for being in relationship to people, and to just learn by those experiences. So this for me is very it's a month that brings this need to be caring for one another, and also to explore more about ourselves fearlessly, and just unexpected, bringing our expectations about ourselves a little bit down, and just exploring, becoming the child again, the child that is free to explore, the child that is free to express whatever emotion it has, knowing that is a safe space, knowing that it can grow from it. And so this for me is the vibes for this lunation, and I think is even though it has this underlying opposition to Pluto, which is going to stand for the first the first 2 weeks of this part of the month. This is still one that allows us to bring our power back, and to understand what is just limiting, and that is just putting ourselves in some toxic space that is no longer serves anyone in the space. So this for me is I think it's a very positive and very light and bright energy, and of course it brings the need to be out and to be in the sun, especially here in the North Hemisphere. The need to be out with friends, enjoying the sun, and sharing everyone's experiences, and in the communities that we feel seen, that we feel appreciated, and that we feel that we can just be exactly who we are. So this is for me very interesting. In the new moon of Gemini, we will speak a little bit more of this Venus in Leo, because we are going to have Venus in Leo for 4 months. So this is a lot. And for me, this is one of the, the most interesting moments of the year. So it can bring a lot of vitality and of playfulness again, but in a different way, and creative, big creative wave. So I think we can explore that further. So I leave you with this. I hope you can still you can take the best out of this and enjoy this moment to just be with whoever appreciates you and whoever you appreciate to be around with, and knowing that everyone teaches us something, even if it's some kind of teaching about some boundary that we need to put. So just appreciate that and take it lightly. Yeah. So I'll leave you with this. Take the best out of it, and just bring the vibes of the loving vibes of Venus and Neptune, and very compassionate, and everything will be lighter. I believe. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll be back in 2 weeks for the new moon in Gemini. So until then, take care of yourself and take the best out of this. Bye-bye.